Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Mic check. Yeah. We on? Your mic sound good?
Uno, dos, tres. Back.
Yeah, right there. All right.
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah. What's popping, Rev?
What up, Rep? What Art?
Hey, this is the first episode of the Medianoche Podcast. We're here in my spot. It's like bright and early. For those that have been following what I've been up to, and you've been following with extreme detail, you know that every Tuesday, my man Rev comes through and we work on music. So, it's like, what is it, 7:50 in the morning right now. All right, so good morning. And Rev, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good morning, man. Still gearing up a little bit, but we good. We up. We blessed. We happy.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm straight, bro. So your Apple Music subscription is canceled till next week.
God damn. All right, but hold on. Hold up.
It's okay. Mine's still gonna be up in
All
for like
right.
another couple days.
I guess I might have misplaced, lost, dropped, left at the debit card. That is the account card. So I had to cancel the card. They had to send me a new card. So I haven't received the new card to update the new info. So this is kind of why I've had this little musical interruption in my life. All right, that's why I don't got it.
Whenever I hit somebody up to be like, "Yo, what platform do you listen to music on?" and like most of the time, people just tell me YouTube. It's like they're still on that YouTube shit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
So I'll be like, all right, that's fine, and I'll just hit them. And I just feel so proud that my shit is on Apple Music and Spotify, and they'll just be like, "Nah, just hit me with the YouTube link," and I'm like, fine.
Well, honestly, after a while, YouTube, a lot of songs I couldn't get on YouTube anymore. So I had to resort to
Why not? Why couldn't you put a shit on YouTube no more?
try looking for some Jay-Z songs. You will not find them on YouTube because I guess he has a copyright protection.
All right, not your songs that you wanted to listen to.
Yeah, like as a consumer, as a fan, there's music I want to listen to on YouTube, and I just couldn't find it no more.
Listen, one thing that I was talking with my man Cloud9, and like he's like, "Yo, your new songs." He sent me the screenshot of the song that I just came out with called "Spinning Slow." Like he sent me the screenshot that it was on Tidal, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, we also get like access to watch festivals on Tidal too." So I thought that was a cool perk if you're, and I love watching live festivals. So I'm not gonna lie, bro. As much as I like Apple Music, that's tempting. It's tempting. I don't mind paying the extra $2-3 a month just to be able to watch live festivals all the time.
I think it's the same. I think it's $9.99. I think.
I don't know, the high fidelity. I think the last time I checked, it was a couple dollars more. But whatever, man. So like, where I think music is going, like where I think it's gonna go from here. Think about it. Remember, like when you and I were growing up, we were still on the tapes and CDs, and then the internet came, and people started to legally download shit on LimeWire and Napster.
Yeah.
And that's when like Benefit came up. Like people were like uploading songs from MC Benefit, but they tagged it as Eminem. And then you thought it was Eminem. It turns out it was Benefit.
A little tricky clickbait.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
people were still doing that even like a few years ago. Like I'm not saying that the rapper did it, but maybe the fans were doing it. Like when I was in California, Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly" came out, and I went on YouTube to look it up because like whatever, like I was in Pville, and I was like, yo, to check out this Kendrick album, and we listened to it. And when it started to play, it was Puya. Puya was rapping. You get me? But it had like mad views. And then like the people that I was kicking it with were like, yeah, this is pretty tight. And I was like, yo, this isn't even Kendrick. This is Puya, you know? They were like, oh, that's whack. But the comments were like, yo. But the comments were like, yo, this is this is Puya, whatever. It's funny how like that tactic was still being applied even 10, 12 years later, you know?
It's like some guerrilla rap attack right there.
Yeah, man. But like, so whatever. So, you know, it went from CDs and tapes to illegal downloads to the iTunes store and then streaming. And now like these, you know, the recording artists, like they're not really selling copies no more. And, you know, you only make like a penny every time your song is played. Right?
Yeah.
So I think where it's going to go from here is like artists are going to have like their own fan clubs, like an app. You're going to have your app. And your music is only going to be on there, like how Jay has Tidal. But aside from it having everyone else's public albums, it's just going to be his exclusive songs on this one app. And if you want it, if you want access to this, you know, this album that he only puts on there, all the music videos, all the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, like you almost can't really call yourself independent. You're still on the Spotify and Apple. We're getting to that place.
Yeah.
Where like you can't even call yourself independent if you're still on the platforms everyone else is on.
Yeah, like if Spotify is making more money off of your music than you're not independent yet, you know?
Yeah.
But if you pay for like your own app and you have your own exclusive music on there and your own music videos only on there, it's hosted by some web hosting platform, but like it's your app and people have to pay like $1 a month, you know?
Yeah, like Dame Dash has his own Netflix.
Right, which is what's it called again?
Let me see real quick. I don't want to misguide the people.
But he's on that same wavelength. He's like, listen, you gotta own your own shit, you know? And that's totally where it's at. You can get your shirts printed at some shirt shop, or you can just spend the $5,000 on the shirt printing machine, and then you can print your own stuff for the rest of your life, as well as other people's things too, you know? And that's kind of always been the tip that I've been on. Like, I got tired of paying for studio time real quick. You know what's funny? You know, I remember the exact moment when I decided that paying for studio time wasn't for me. And and there's no offense to this dude, because I got love for him. And we're all humans. You can't really expect people to act like robots, you know? But like, I remember one time at Fuse's studio, I was like, yo, Fuse, run that back. And I looked over at him, and he like minimized the web browser. And I was like, I ain't mad at you. I'm more mad at myself that I have to depend on someone else, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, and I was like, all right, word. I'm just gonna have to start going down that road of buying my own shit. But there's a downside to that too, because when you invest in all your own equipment, you know, when you invest in all your own equipment and you learn how to use all these things, you start to become a little antisocial. Because what happened with me was I started to get bitter. I got bitter, bro. I got bitter at everyone that I ever reached out to, that I was dissatisfied by their quality of their work. Maybe they weren't into it that day. They're not going to turn down money, but they probably had a lot of things on their mind. You get me?
And also, like, who else knows how to season your steak better than you? You know, like, you know exactly where you want it to be at. You know exactly how you want the volume to be at.
Right.
Maybe they didn't purposely mean to.
No, of course not.
Or I don't think anyone ever meant for anything to sound bad. But I think sometimes our ears make wrong decisions too.
Yeah, like, and I've seen that so many times. All these studios that I've been to over the years, where like I'll go and you'll see like the rappers like sitting patiently while the engineer kind of mixes them real quick.
Yeah.
And then they'll wait and they'll like, okay, I'll tell you a quick story. Like, so I was at a studio one time, right? I was featured on a song by by this artist. Her name is E Banga, right? Long time ago. And I was in the studio, and she invited me over to record the verse. She wanted my vocals to be in the same studio that hers was recorded in, instead of me just sending the verse in, right? Which I understand, because I already had my equipment by this time, right? So whatever. So I record the verse, and then the engineer that was there was like, all right, I'm gonna start mixing it. All this is on her dollar. Like, she's waiting for him to like mix it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a guest in the studio, so I'm not about to start like, yo, do this, do that. Because what the fuck, you know? Like, let people do their thing, you know? I'm sitting there, and I'm watching this engineer. Like, it took him, I want to say around like a little bit more than 10 minutes to do something that he just forgot what button to press to do what he was trying to do. And I saw like the other people in the room were just kind of like patiently waiting for him to figure that out, to not step on his toes. But to not step on his toes is costing the person paying for studio time more money, you know?
So like is he like going through this out loud? Is he like he didn't have headphones on, kind of like quietly trying to like find the button, or
Kind of like, well, no, you can hear him like start to like exhale louder. Oh my God. Oh my God. How is it? And you can tell he's getting nervous because everyone else in the room is watching him not get it, you know?
I really hope he didn't whisper, "How is it?" like that.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I waited a while, bro. But then after a while, I just kind of like leaned in and I was like, yo, bro, you just gotta press this right here. And he's like, oh my God, thank you. And everything else was smooth. But that's the whole point. Like, when you depend on other people, you're at the mercy of their time. You get me? And I remember for a while, bro, like I would work with producers and engineers. Like, hands down, the best engineer I ever worked with was Alphabeat, and to this day he's my friend, you know. And with him, I had more patience than all the other ones in the past because, man, like he's a master at it, you know. You remember when you and I got the first mix back from Ceviche?
Yeah, it's a whole new song.
It was a whole new record from the loop that we wrote and recorded the shit to, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, with exception to him, like, man, I just really got tired of working with other engineers, bro. You'll get a mix back, it doesn't sound good. They're like, all right, I'll work on it. 2 weeks go by. I just got tired of that, man. Like, so I just worked on like, I just got my own equipment, but it made me antisocial because now I have no patience for other people's procrastinating, you know?
Yeah, it's like when you go to the doctor and you kind of put faith that he's gonna do a good job. It's kind of the similar vibe when you go to an engineer. You kind of put good faith into him that he's gonna come through and make everything sound right, and then you kind of feel a little disappointed when it doesn't.
Yeah, like, listen, like now that I'm on this, like now that I'm thinking back even more, I like another reason, like, man, you know, like when you make music, the best music is made as a collaborative effort, you know, like the Beatles, 4 musicians in a room, like these guys all contribute their ideas, their efforts, and what you get in the end is like just this amazing song, you know. But like, you know, in hip hop, I feel like multiple producers working on a record is nice, it's cool, but multiple writers working on a rap, I'm never gonna be sold on that, you know. It's just my preference. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just my preference. Like, you remember like when you and I used to like, you know, sign up to battles. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying that in the grand scheme of things, like a little freestyle battle that you sign up to is more important than a song that you publish. But it's the same principle. Like, you are pacing around on the side of the stage, thinking of lines for the people that you saw sign up.
Yeah. Those
lines came from your brain, you know? So if someone's feeding you lines, it's something that's you're liable to like be called out on, and you'll lose respect as an MC.
And it's funny, man. It's like hip hop's the only genre where that's held to the artist that way.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, it is, and it is what it is. You know, like, yeah, if you are claiming to be the best MC,
I feel like in 2018, I care, but I feel like a lot of people don't. Like a lot of people, whatever, you know, like.
you know, it's one thing that like, like when I factor that in about how a lot of people don't care, and it's like, well, maybe the way that I feel shouldn't be dictated by how everyone else feels. You know. Okay, like back to the rap battle analogy, you know?
Yeah.
If I'm battling somebody and I have all these intricate lines and I have all these, like, you can tell that the wordplay is there, the multis, the rhythm, the setup line, everything is just there, you know?
Yeah.
And then the guy that you're battling responds to you with, yeah, but you got a small dick, and all the girls start laughing out loud in the crowd. Ha! And that's crowd reaction, but the participants in the crowd that reacted are not appreciating everything else that was more skillful than them. So you start to weigh in, like, who appreciates what, you know?
But in a weird way that you got a small dick line, something about the timing and something about that.
It's like the shock value.
There is a little skill set in his comedic approach to that, you know what I mean? So, you know, what was the topic the other day? Okay, they were talking about, like, you know, Cardi B and Nicki, and then someone said, well, I think Rhapsody's better than both of them. As far as multis, metaphors, lyrical content, you know, just an overall better MC. But I guess the other, you know, Cardi and Nicki are probably better entertainers,
yeah, for sure.
They probably get the little small dick joke and make the crowd wow the crowd, like having more showmanship or more. So I guess, I mean, I think everybody has their little aisle in the grocery store where they belong to. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree, and that's why I think it's just a preference. You know?
So I think as long as you're not claiming, like, yo, I'm the greatest MC, like, I'm not gonna hold it to you until you start making these, like Lil Wayne started making that claim.
Okay, like, look, like you're saying, okay, with Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Rhapsody, I feel like, okay, since we're speaking on, like, we're talking about MCs here, like rap, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that Rhapsody is on the side of the spectrum of, like, the spitters, and Cardi B is on the side of the spectrum of, like, entertainers, and Nicki is, like, in the middle because she could rap and she could also entertain. So out of the three, I feel like Nicki Minaj would stand above them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she's definitely mastered the craft a
Like,
little more.
And, like, man, that's something that, I feel like you and I both struggle with this. Like, I'm not going to, bro. I'm not gonna. I don't want to say dumb down, but, bro, my style is my style, bro. You know.
Who are you?
And like, I had these conversations with with my boy Frank, and, like, Frank is just such a marketing. I feel like he looks at the game in a marketable perspective. You know, he's like, yeah, listen, you know, but you're a good songwriter, you know, but can you get on stage and make the crowd go wild with your raps? And I'm like, well, what type of crowd is it? You know, because if I'm rapping on stage for a crowd that appreciates music from, let's say, fucking, I don't know, let's say like A$AP Rock or Atmosphere or even like a Mac Miller or like just more technical writers, I feel like they would appreciate my music more. But if I'm performing in front of fans of, I don't know, like Migos or whoever the fuck, I have to pick and choose what few songs I have currently that would appeal to them. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you something. Do you make music for you, or do you make music for like the fans?
I think I'm like in between. Like there's moments that I pull a little more from like a selfish place, and then at other times I pull more from an unselfish place. So sometimes I know that ultimately my music is for someone, and if it's not received by anyone, it almost didn't serve its purpose. But then in another realm, this is therapeutic for me, it's good for me, it's what I love to do. So there is a selfish element to it as well. So I'm kind of like in the middle sometimes.
I don't think I've ever heard a song from you that isn't for you first, you know? Like the songs that are more likely to resonate with someone else, there are some more than others, like we all have that. But I feel like every song that I've ever heard from you, like it started with, you did it for yourself first, and then it's like you cook food that you know you would eat, and then you offer it to other people.
Yeah, and that also comes from like sometimes taking care of yourself is good for everybody else. You know what I mean? Like sometimes making sure you eat leaves more food for everybody else at the place you went to. You know, like sometimes just taking care of yourself is taking care of everybody else. So I feel like when I do that and I do things for me, there's another me somewhere that feels just like me, and then they feel better when they hear my shit. But ultimately, it should be for other people. It should be. I think it should be.
Yeah, like I heard someone one time, I can't remember who was it that said this, but I remember it stuck with me. I need to get better at like remembering who said what, because I
Names.
usually,
Names.
Yeah, I usually just walk away with what was said, not with who said it. But like I remember someone said that, listen, you make music so you're in the service industry because you're providing a service, and I was like, providing a service, so I'm a server of music.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
And that was such an interesting, people say, yeah, you're in the entertainment industry, or you're in the service industry, or whatever. You know, like I feel like people are so willing to throw out their everyone should have a podcast, you know, and just like throw out their 2 cents about whatever the fuck. But like for them to say, yo, it's a service industry, like it was really interesting.
But I think people should live in service, you know, in service of your community, in service of your children, in service of, you know, whoever you believe in.
Yeah, like contribute.
Yeah, people should live in service. I think that's a good thing. I mean, now you put in the word industry in there. I don't know about all that, but I think it's okay to live in service. I think more people should live in service.
Yeah, when you say, oh, like, like I don't know about all that with the word industry, it's like, man, like sometimes I'll be going on YouTube. You know, I'm interested in van life. I'm not saying that that's the destiny that a person should live in, van life. But when you think about it, these
van. Oh, I don't know why I thought about Vans. I thought like the clothing line.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, that is
the vehicle of a van.
I do like my vans, you know.
Okay.
But now I'm talking about like van life, like people that dwell in vans, you know. But the reason why I was interested in it at first is because, like, you know, upcoming artists, you know, like these guys be touring, so you're gonna be touring anyway. You're gonna need a tour van. You might as well like be prepared for long periods of time in a vehicle. So anyway, so I went on YouTube, and like there's this channel that I kind of became a frequent consumer of this guy's videos. His name is Dave 2D. Super funny, you know, and like. This one video. The reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm referencing back to the industry word. It's like making fun of these millennials that they live in a van, but they're marketing their merch, or like they're marketing. They're like, yo, listen, you know, we laid down this wood on the interior of this van from this company that says hey, for every order that you get, we're gonna plant a tree. And Dave 2D was like, just plant a tree, bro. You know, why are you gonna plant a tree only when someone buys something? If you really want to be a person of contributing to the world, you don't just plant a tree, and that's when it becomes an industry. Like, yeah, you'll plant a tree when someone pays you for something.
Yeah.
It's like saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be of service to the world as long as it's somehow beneficial monetarily for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, shouldn't people be able to make a living off of what they love?
Of course, absolutely.
And if you want to make a living doing what you love, you have to consider like you're gonna have to some degree compromise a little bit of who you are to appeal to more people.
And I think that's where that's the intersection.
Yeah,
we all get to.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time coming to grips with that, and that's why I love the small fan base that I have at the moment. Man, I fucking love those people, bro.
Like, all right, you got like the little corner store of the community. They've been helping, supporting, a part of, contributors of the community. But nothing in the store is free. But giving fair prices, providing good business, not taking advantage of that. I think that comes with that. That's part of like good service. Like you come to me, if you're going to do a show, you maybe charge an amount of money that's reasonable. Or maybe you know what I mean? You're not trying to take advantage and overcharging, or you're doing a good service, you're providing good business, and I think in that sense, yeah, you should be able to gain your fruit, for the seeds you lay down, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and with that being said, like, that's a great point, because like this music world is, because it's so lucrative for the people that are able to like flourish in it. There are other people that they're like, they hustle your dream, Yeah. And they'll be like, hey, listen, oh, you want to get on stage? Or booking agents, Hey, you want to get on stage, right? Well, listen, this is great exposure for you. So you're going to have to pay me to play. And what you see is you're opening up for a big artist, and they bring out 1,000 people. And you're thinking to yourself, 1,000 potential fans. So you cough up the bread. And then when you get there, you realize that you're not the only opener. There's like 30 other ones, that were sold on to that same dream. And it's like, yo, this is a very shady part of the industry when you're on the come up. You know how much better things you could have done with the money that you paid that booking promoter? You could have used that money to just promote yourself on your own merit online, or printed out some flyers and paid somebody to put them up. And now you're not opening, your flyer is not next to a bigger artist. It's just on its own, on that wall by itself.
Yeah, and it's funny because like, there could also be the perspective where like the guy booking the show has to pay rent for the place where he booked the show at. So he's kind of like compiling the money, trying to put on people from his city who ain't really performing that night next to someone who... I mean, there's always like that perspective too, like that doesn't mean that every, promoter has like a bad intent, Some people are really trying to like create a place where up and coming artists can come and perform, because that's hard too, to get a place where you can go and perform. So sometimes like they add these fees and these charges without knowing that it's really detriment to the art form, but they may just think it's their way of paying the rent for the spot, or to cover the microphones and the speakers they rented, or whatever, who knows. You've done events, so you know how it is to be in that, on the other end, like not the artist, like not the rapper end, but like on the end of the people throwing the show and booking the people. Like that also has its little.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, like there was a time when I didn't really realize how funny that service, that business ethic was until I was on the other end of it, you know, because back when I was throwing like little beat battles, you know, with my ex, I was throwing beat battles and we'll be like, yo, it's such and such amount of money at the door and you want to sign up to the beat battle? All right, well, it's $10 to sign up. And then 10 or like 16 producers will sign up and the pot is $160 and like they would make like half of it. You get me? And then whatever, like we'll pocket the other half as a part of like breaking even or whatever the fuck, you know, just a profit. Okay. But like the person signed up, paid $10 and walked away with way more than the $10 they signed up for. So I was always trying to approach it in like where it was beneficial for them as well. Man, like, do you remember? I can't even remember the name of the venue anymore. The venue that is it's on North Miami Avenue in downtown.
Eve?
No, not Eve.
IO Lounge?
Which Eve is now called 1306. And yeah, it's like the address, you know.
It's funny, like those like places that are like numbers.
Yeah, it's funny because, bro, like I had that line on Around Midnight on my album on the intro where I was like, even if the event's up at Eve and we whatever, and I keep going, and like only people that were here that went to that club know which venue I'm talking about. Now it's just, you know, just.
Okay, so it's not Eve. It's not IO Lounge.
No, bro, I can't remember the name of the venue,
Where
bro.
is
It's
it?
crazy.
You can walk me through it. I'm pretty
Damn, dog. Like,
city savvy.
well, across the street there was always a lot of homeless people. So, and it's a 2-story, huge venue, and it shut down. It's not there no more. It shut down.
Grand Central.
My man, Grand Central.
You gotta walk me through it a little bit.
Thank you, bro. Wow, I'm gonna commit that to memory more than ever.
Grand Central.
So anyway, so Grand Central, right?
Rest in peace, Grand Central.
It was a good spot, man.
Great spot.
That spot and the stage, this other venue that's also no longer there no more. Man, they had the best sound system. So anyway, so one time, Currency was he was gonna perform there. He performed there like a few times. Whenever he came to town, that was the venue he performed at.
A lot of times that was the
headliner venue.
Like not like if you're not booking the AAA arena, you're probably at Grand Central. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's that, and then there's like Revolution in Fort Lauderdale. Those are like the two, you know, like somewhat equal size capacity venues, you know. So anyway, so like, bro, and I remember I told you about this show too, but you were working, man. Like this was, bro, like easily 5 years ago, you know, and I had hit up the promoter to be like, yo, yeah, I want to open up for Currency. What's popping? He's like, yeah, for sure. It's X amount of money. And I was new to the whole pay to play thing. That was still new to me, you know?
What was the X amount?
It was like $300.
Okay.
$300, right?
Currency.
And I was like, $300, okay. That's cool. So whatever, right? So I go there. You know how like what the upcoming artist would do, because my name didn't get on the flyer of the, which was already a little fishy to me. This was a big lesson that I learned.
Oh, so you paid it?
Yes, I'm telling you the story.
All right, so
I'm telling you the story how I learned my lesson about the pay to play, you know? So look, so whatever, right? Like, so we made our own flyer. You know, I took one of my pictures and I added my, you know, the text, promoted that. Yo, Art Morera performing live, opening up for Currency at Grand Central. Bells and whistles, made it look like a big deal, right? And so whatever, the night of the show, I'm here like, all right, word. So when do I go up? You know, when do I go on? And the promoter was like, all right, just post it. I'll let you know. And I was like, okay. And I always show up early. I always like to show up early. You get me? I can kind of feel it out a little bit, maybe get a couple drinks, whatever. And I'm waiting backstage. And there's a lot of rappers back there. And you can tell when someone's a rapper, you know? Like, you can tell, especially when you're performing. They go...
The camera phones are up.
They wear the rapper uniforms, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
I got a few of those.
So whatever, right? Like, so I see all these rappers go up. All right, next week. And the promoter, the host will go on stage and he'll be like, are y'all ready for Currency? And everyone will start going, yeah, start going loud. He's like, all right, he's coming. All right, for sure. But for now, make some noise for such and such. And the guy will come up on stage, yeah, what's up, y'all? He didn't even have the good mic. They gave him like the other mic.
Art. Like, oh.
And then like he went on stage and he did like 2-3 songs, got off stage, and the promoter did the same thing again. All right, y'all, make some noise for whatever the fuck his name is. Are y'all ready for Currency? Yeah. Okay, he's coming. Then here's the next artist. And he did that like, bro, no lie, like 20 times. 20, no exaggeration, like 20, like just local rappers, bro.
Don't tell me it was DJ Heron announcing everybody up there.
Nah, it wasn't DJ Heron. It was.
I can totally picture him being the one at the mic on stage.
Nah, it wasn't DJ Heron. And even then, DJ Heron would have done a better job. DJ Heron, like, no one can take away like how good of a stage presence he is. You get me? Like he knows how he's good at like taking control.
Kind of like the Miami Kid Capri. He got like that, like that.
Yeah.
That microphone presence.
So whatever, right? So by the time that I got on stage, the crowd was already like boo. They just want to see Currency already. They're exhausted being shoved down their throats. All these upcoming rappers.
Yeah.
You know. So by the time that I got on stage, I felt like my money was like it kind of went to waste because I'm kind of being fed to the lions here, you know? Yeah. These guys do not want to see any more up-and-coming rappers. Doesn't matter how tight you were, that's it, you know? And whatever, so I did my thing, and the crowd wasn't really that crazy. They were already tired of being forced to sit through unknown to them artists, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I learned my lesson. I'm like, yo, I'm never going to pay to play ever again. Ever. I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. The amount of money that you are gonna try to charge me to perform, bro, I'm just gonna invest that money elsewhere and like come up on my own little merit. You know what I'm saying? But needless to say, by the time that Currency got on stage, like, you know, they got super turned up. They got all their energy got rejuvenated, and at least they got what they paid for. But they got way more than they paid for, you know? 30 rappers worth.
Did you perform in front of a large crowd that night?
I did.
Okay. And no one was able to take away, like, the fact that you opened up for Currency that night. You opened up, you performed. I'm pretty sure you gained some fans. I mean, look, man, I do not agree with the pay to play. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, depending on who you are, and you know, I'm not saying don't eat, don't pay your rent, you know, for these situations, but there will be a time where you're chasing a dream, you're trying to accomplish something, and you might have to take it to the chin, or a few to pause. You might have to take a few to the chin.
You have a good attitude, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing that I appreciate about you. Like, just as one of my friends, bro. Like, I can talk to you about something that I have a few gripes about, and you can just like point out the not so bad aspects of it. You know.
I could totally practice what I preach a little bit though.
You know, it's funny you say that, man. This is an awesome segue. I was talking with a homegirl, like. And she's moving out of Florida. I'm not going to say who it is. Doesn't matter, you know? And then I'm like, yo, isn't it funny how, like, when you ask how someone's doing, how they'll be like, you know, just they'll start throwing these, like, bumper sticker phrases at you, you know? Oh, I'm just trying to stay positive. Oh, you know.
Hanging in there.
Yeah, hanging in there. Oh, I'm just trying to make the best of it. Oh, you know. Yeah. And it just sounds so empty. You know that they're fucking going through it, but they don't feel comfortable venting out about it, so they hold it all in, and it just sounds so like I can see right through it all the
like
time.
A pipe ready to bust, but like a little squirt of water comes out, like a little.
Yeah, man, it's like, bro, okay, like that line that I have on Strangers, I'm like, lie to me, tell me how fine you are, you know, like, because they're lying, and it's not that they are doing it because they don't care enough about expressing it. It's because, man, like, it's like when you're walking down the street, yo, how you doing? Good, how are you? It's because unless if you're dying, you're good, you know? And if someone were to tell you, hey, how you doing? Man, I'm not doing that good at all. It's like, whoa. Just, hey, just tell me good. Like, maybe I don't want to hear. Well, I have my own problems, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, instead of like saying, how are you? It really means like, hey, I hope you're good.
Yeah.
I hope you alright, cause I'm walking and I ain't stopping.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Like when I met Just Blaze backstage at Ultra, like I met him. He comes out and like I had to walk with him.
Cool.
I had to walk next to him because I guess the timing between the stage and his transportation, he couldn't stop.
Right.
So it was kind of like that's kind of the way we live these days. You know, like we don't stop. Like we almost don't look up from our phone sometimes. How are you? We just keep at a pace. Just keep moving.
That is cool. I remember you telling me that story. Like, you were the only one in the whole crowd of Ultra that went, Just Blaze. Like,
I mean, I had to. It was like a quiet moment. It was perfect.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, I told you about the one time I met Just Blaze too, right?
I think it was South Beach.
Yeah, I was in South Beach. I was working security. Man, you know what's funny, man? Like I'm gonna get to this. Matter of fact, let me just tell this Just Blaze story. So, like, what I did was I went on eBay and I bought like 100 USB drives, and all of them were like 1 gig from like China. And like they got here, and the point that I wanted to do was have USBs with my music, you know, like just whatever. Instead of handing off a CD, like a USB, and I would have it in my book bag for a while. This was like for a little while. I had my bag of just 100 USBs with my music. This was, bro, during the time that I dropped, like around midnight, you know, because after around midnight's when I went to California. So my man Giancarlo, he had hit me up, and he's like, yo, you went down to work, this, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, cool, for sure. So I grabbed a few. I grabbed like 5 or 6 USBs and put in my pocket, and I went over there. And I was like, man, I want some Cuban coffee. So I went it was the Fillmore in Miami Beach. So I walked to Collins. Yo, Cuban coffee is mad expensive in South Beach. They be taxing out there, bro.
Yeah, hit that 7-Eleven.
Yo, they be taxing out there. That shit was like $4 for an espresso.
You gotta go to the 7-Eleven. Still $2.
And I was like, I didn't even know 7-Eleven made Cuban coffee. That's good to know. Some do. You know what's up, dog. You know what's up, man. I know that you made your rounds through every little. For everyone out there, right, that like is not familiar yet, like Rev, if you listen to Rev's lines, he'll be throwing mad little Easter eggs out there of like how well he knows the little crevices of Miami, you know? So this is definitely adding a little bit of context.
That's a part of this podcast, man. That's a part of that, man. Like Medianoche is, you know, it's a signature sandwich.
Yep, exactly. You know,
so you know that's you could go to any little bakery restaurant in Miami, and that's definitely on the menu here.
exactly. You get it. So whatever, right? Like I had to be at work in like 15 minutes, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just pay the bread. And I paid for that expensive ass espresso. And I remember I gave him a $5 bill, and they were hesitant about giving back that $1. And I was like, am I change? And, oh, sí, aquí está. And I was like, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Just give me my $1. I thought this, you know. I don't have it in me to just be rude to people when I know that I'm being overcharged. So whatever. So I got my Cuban coffee, right? And it was good. It better be.
You look up and the fucking lady was just Blaze.
Nah.
My bad, just.
Nah. But listen, so I walk out, right? And like walking down the sidewalk is just Blaze, you know? And he has like his side bag with his laptop. Like, yo, he walks fast. Let me tell you. It was tough to like muscle up the strength to walk up to one of my favorite it's fucking Just Blaze, you know? And I was like, yo, Just. And I was
what with the yo Just like
Listen, and I wasn't dressed like a rapper that day. I was, you know, when you work these events, they make you dress in all black pants, black shoes, black shirt, polo specifically. Yeah. So I wasn't dressed like no rapper, you get me? But I walked up and I was like, yo, Just, what's up, man? And I gave him the whole little spiel. Man, you know, I'm a rapper from Miami. Like, I know you're busy, man. Like, is it cool if I give you my USB with some of my music, my contacts in there and everything? And he's like, yeah, that's cool. So I gave it to him and he's like, thanks. And he didn't even ask for my name. He was just on the go.
Like,
and
did you have to kind of walk with him too?
No. Nah. I was like, all right, thanks, man. And I just felt so good. I told him, I was like, yeah, listen, my name's Art Morera. He's like, all right, for sure, thanks, man. I was like, all right, cool. Whatever. He just walked away. And like, you know, those are like one of those many scenarios, bro, that I had little run-ins with people in the industry that like there was no follow-up from, you know? And it makes me wonder, like, what's the actual likelihood that someone gets that follow-up phone call? Whereas if you're just coming up on your own and you're building up your own name, then they're more likely to be like, yo, I see what you're doing, you know? Like, you're starting to pop up on my radar. Now it makes more sense to me to reach out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like a lottery. A lottery almost.
You know, man, like, I'm never gonna fucking quit, bro. I'm never gonna stop trying to make it. And I know that one day I am going to get to my
No, it's not even about just making it, but like making it on someone else's terms. Like another person. That's kind of like we grew up kind of like with that, oh, I'm going to get signed to Russell Simmons and get the record deal and buy the Escalade and date the model and buy puppies. But now it's like you almost got to get it yourself now. You got to like create that for yourself and
right.
But, you know, in hip hop there is a little bit of the cosign is very important. At some point someone's going to be like, so who you with? You know, like almost like you're in a house walking around. They're going to ask you how you got in that house.
Right.
Or who do you know here? And if you don't know anyone there, it might not, you know, it might not be as smooth.
Yeah, this is true, man. Like, I'm a little, it's interesting to me when, like, other MCs and just DJ, or not really DJ, I don't really be talking many DJs, but more MCs and producers that are like above in career than my colleagues and I. And like, I'll chop it up with them and they'll be like, yeah, man, it's all about your relationships. And like that fact, that is true, man. Like, you remember how Charlemagne was like, yo, listen, this is not a talent show, it's a popularity contest. Remember that? Like, that's a little disheartening because MCs like you and I, we're a little antisocial, you know? Like, I'll be nice to you if I'm walking down the street and I see someone that knows who I am and I know who they are. Yeah, I'm chop it up with you for a minute, but deep inside, I don't want to, you know? Like listen, man, it's nothing against anyone. Maybe it's just where I'm at in my life, but don't take it the wrong way. I'm just not. That's not where my mind is at right now. Where I just want to stop the train of thought that I'm on to just kick back and just talk about sports with you, you know? And like, but in this game, man, you have to, you know? And for a while I was thinking like, man, isn't that what a manager's for or a publicist is for? Like, you pay the publicist because they got the relationships. They're the social butterflies. Like you're not. You're the one that creates the music, you know. And
You're a being too. You're a being as well. So you're that familiar, you're that recognizable as you maneuver, even if your relationships are built behind the wall. You're gonna have to,
it's a hump to get over, man. Like
you're gonna have to talk to somebody sometime. You know?
like yeah, I don't know. It's just a little. I don't know, man. It's conflicting with me at the moment. This is just. I mean, mind you, this is just. I'm not speaking on behalf of all antisocial MCs. I'm just talking about me at the moment. When a mic is in my hand, when I have a microphone in my hand and I walk on stage, that's when it all comes out. But then when I'm not on stage, like, yeah, I'll chop it up with you, and yeah, like I'll pass the blunt to you when I was smoking. But
it's
like,
funny because from a father's perspective, it's like I'm the manager to my daughter's artistry, so I find myself like having to speak up for her when many times I don't want to, but I kind of have to. So it's almost trained me to like willingly, forcefully break out of that shell a little bit and like, excuse me, ma'am, I need napkins over here. You know what I mean? Like normally I wouldn't even want to. I can just get up and get my own napkin, but like I gotta like, build some sort of principle or whatever. Like depending on the situation, I'm not saying the lady has to bring me napkins. I'm just saying, like many times I just have to speak up for her, and the way a manager would speak up for an artist. So I have been, I've had to kind of get out of that and find myself like having to speak more when I don't want to speak, more like when I have to.
And like, and it's true, like, because on the other side of it, like, I don't know if you're familiar. You know how like maybe a couple months ago, A-Hole sniffs glue. He came out with like the sandals that have his eyeballs like as the design of it. Yeah. He had this release party at the shoe gallery, right?
Excuse me.
At the shoe gallery, and like I didn't have enough on me to buy it, but I wanted to find out if if the sandals were available online. So I'm outside. It's cool. So we're outside. I step outside of the shoe gallery, and I'm there on the sidewalk in downtown, whatever. Right before I leave, and I see A-Hole there chopping it up with like a couple of people. So I walk up to him and like, yo, A-Hole, are these gonna be available online? And like the manager just steps right in. Yes, sir. They're gonna blah 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 blah. He gave me the whole info, and like it's like I was asking him, But thank you. I didn't say that to him. I was just thinking this, Like,
and it's funny because from his perspective, it's like, yeah, but you're asking him, but I'm the one who talks for him right now.
Right. So it's like it's like, yo, what the fuck? Like when you want to be social, you got to know who to be social to.
No, it's true,
and
man.
it's like, man.
So when I, try to ask my daughter a question, I might be like, yes, sir. What's up?
That's how it is, guys. Managers are parents to the artists,
Kind of. It's kind of like they kind of have to parent that social cloud a little bit. You know what I mean? They totally, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Like, so that's something that, like.
Well, hold on. Maybe if you were like, hey, how are you today, boss? Or maybe if the question was, where are these sneakers gonna be at? So it was like a money question, It was like, ding.
Nah, it's true. I wonder why artists redirect questions about money. I wonder if it's because it's like it just feels a little weird accepting money directly from the patron that is interested in buying your product. Like, if I walk up to a merch, okay. Little backstory real quick. All right, so do you remember like some time ago there were these like sneaker conventions that were going around. That was kind of like a thing for a while, Yeah. Like a shoe, I forgot what it was called, something with shoes. Anyway, like, and I was booked to open up for Stally for 3 shows: Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando, right? And this was when Stally came out with his tape, The Savage Journey to the American Dream. Bro, that's an amazing mixtape, you know? Like, genuinely, I really enjoyed that fucking tape, you know? You know, Young Guru mixed and mastered that tape. And he's like, whatever, that's a whole another story. Like, I actually wanted to get to that, like, maybe not on this podcast, but another one. But, like, so, in Orlando, right? You know, Stally, after he got done performing, he pointed to everybody to the back, like, all right, y'all, I'm going to have some stuff in this merch table. If you want to come meet me and take a picture. And it was behind us. We turned around, like, the merch table's there, you know? All his stuff is laid out, nice and cool. So I wait in line, and when it's my turn to go up, I was like, yo, Stally. And he was right there. And I was like, yo, Stally, like, how much is this tape? And he was like, and he pointed to the guy working the merch table. You get me? And the guy stepped in and was like, what's up, man? It's $10. So, cool, I paid it and I got it, you know? And we took a picture too. But like, as a fan, not as another MC, but like as a fan, I would imagine that nothing would feel better than getting it directly from the man. You know what I'm saying? The MC that you're a fan of, like, handing you the CD, you know? Even though representation is also a good look, having someone represent you at the merch table, and all you're there for is handshakes and pictures, you know?
Yeah, man. I don't think no rapper's gonna hand you the CD in 2018.
Man, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in general.
I'm saying, like, I don't. That's like,
it could be a beanie. It could be whatever, you know?
like, he may not own that CD. He may not own that merch table, you know? Like, the guy who's talking may own more of it than he does. I mean, there's just always a chain of command with just about everything, you know, where, like, certain people, aces in their places.
Man, aces in their place.
Aces in their places. So this guy is aced to collect the money, to make sure, you know, Stally's aced to be, you know, his place is to be the handshakes and smiles.
You know what I think the issue was in these interactions is that I think that it's okay to hit up the main guy instead of scoping the situation out to see who's the right person to speak to in context to why I'm trying to speak to anyone. Like, you know, like, the problem is with me. Like, I'm the one that's always trying to, like, rub elbows with someone that could lead me to a way to come up in this industry, you know?
Now, I'm gonna delve deeply. Maybe if John Lennon had that guy step up, that would have not happened to him.
That
you know,
guy
like sometimes like, it's a danger to have somebody get to either a certain
proximity, yeah.
Exactly, a certain proximity, certain closeness, a certain that there has to be that person, not just for the speaking, just for the space, just for like, yo.
Yeah, for safety, for sure.
You know, that's the first step. And then also safety. You know, a lot of people bullshit. A lot of people inquire weird shit and want to talk about weird shit, and we don't got time for that. You kind of filter out the bullshit, you know, and then you got people like you, or people like the serious people who just want to know the price or want to know where I can buy it at, and whatever, you know. That guy's also there to tell you where you can buy it at.
Yeah, like all these like unpredictable factors play in.
Yeah.
And like now it makes, like, it kind of adds more perspective of like why some artists, like, man, like, yo, I'm not social like that, you know? Like, not that I'll feel weird about it, but like I don't know you, bro, you know? Like, even on Instagram or like whatever, on just social media, you know, you go on YouTube and you look up how to this and that, and you'll see, like, they'll be like, make sure you respond to every comment. It's like, yo, I was a fan of Eminem and I never spoke to the man ever, you know? Like,
Yeah, man.
I don't understand this necessity to be a fan of somebody as long as they interact with you, you know? It's like, yo, what? Like, I've never spoken to almost all my favorite musicians and just people in the world. I like what they do, and I'm cool with that.
But I mean, there is a little feeling like when you meet someone and they dap you up and you take a photo, that when you do listen to their music, you kind of connect to that memory, where that can kind of, I guess, bring you a little closer. I can see how that can come into play. But yeah, same here, man. I never met. In fact, I'm glad I have now met like my top 5 favorite rappers.
You know, hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, so like, there's been a few people, especially in the last year, you know, that they'll hit me up on the DM. Yo, I love your music. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Oh, for sure, bro. So, what you up to? And it's like, all right. Just chilling, bro. What's up with you? Oh, man, just chilling. Hey, man, check out my new song. It's like, or like, hey, and they keep it going. And once you kind of like, you decide, okay, I'm done with this conversation. Just for now, I'm done. They get mad. They'll be like, yo, and they just get mad bitter about. It's like,
now I know how girls feel.
Yeah, bro. It's like, hey, listen, like, what the fuck, man? It's just crazy, bro. I don't know, man. It's funny times, man. Like, you know what it is that you and I, we grew up in the 90s. And in the 90s, like, we became fans of the singers and rappers and everybody in the entertainment industry, the actors, without having accessibility to them. But then social media came, and it shows how accessible they are, and people got spoiled by that.
Another thing. All right, we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
When did Columbine occur?
I'm not sure. I could look it up if you want me to.
Somewhere in the 90s.
Okay.
I'm almost positive.
I'm going to look this up. But yes, go on.
Whatever. And when we were younger, that was maybe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, possibly one of the first mass school shootings.
That was in 1999.
There you go. Got it by year. So, and this is when we were young. Since then, there has been many of these public, like frantic, crazy tragedies have occurred. So as parents, as people, as family members, as society people, we're a little more paranoid to just someone coming up to you and like talking to you. Maybe back in the day, early 90s, early 80s, it was very normal to be like, hey, what's up? How are you? Haha. And like kind of like invite yourself into people's lives. Now everyone's got like this gated community mentality because so much crazy shit is happening. We're paranoid. When I'm out with my family and someone just walks up and tries talking, you are guilty till proven innocent. My antennas are up. I don't know who you are, where you come from, what your intent is. I may have a little bit of that, like, that security block, but that's because so much has happened. As a community, we're a little paranoid. We're a little,
we're timid for sure.
Yeah, because all the crazy shit that's happening, you can't just trust nobody, even through the internet, especially through the internet. Like, so I just think people are just a little more cautious. Definitely cautious because of just all the crazy shit that's happened. We're all a little paranoid.
Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, man. I mean, mind you, most people, they mean well, and like how you said earlier, like you've met some of people you were fans of, and you caught them on a very bad day, and that just kind of just changed how you feel about enjoying their music,
Yeah, so it's best to not even meet nobody. I kind of just come to that conclusion. I'm cool, man.
Do you think that that's where? Do you think that that's where the world's gonna be, especially now with all these delivery services, Amazon, delivery, Uber Eats, Shipped, where like people are just they're gonna wake up, go to work, come home and not even go outside. They're just gonna become complete hermits. You know, like people are just gonna. The only time they go out is for a fucking festival, or people won't even go to the movies no more. They'll just watch something on Netflix or.
They'll go outside, but outside might not be outside.
What do you?
Or something like that.
You know, like living in a crowded space like Miami really makes me miss how open and empty California was. And driving on the I-80 and pulling into a rest stop, and you walk out and like there's mountains way over there, and there's maybe some guy in an RV at the other end of the parking lot of the rest stop, and I take my dog out and there's no other pack of dogs that he gets too hyped up about and runs after to go hang out with them. Like, whereas here in Miami, it's real noisy. Mind you, I love Miami, but I think I love it a little bit more from a distance. I'm kind of a little bit too lost in the sauce in here right now.
It's crowded, man. It's definitely a lot of people, a lot of things going on, a lot of businesses, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It is. And it's a Spanish market, so it's like a melting pot. I don't know another place. Maybe, you know what's another place that I would consider as diverse as Miami? There's two places. I think New York and San Francisco. Remember how crazy San Francisco was when you and I would like go out there to like, you know, try to get our music out there a little bit, maybe DJ Methods and shit in Oakland.
Yeah, LA is pretty diverse too.
LA too, word. I forgot about LA.
California period. It's funny, like America's not really America. Like when we say Americans, it's not even really Americans. We are like this combination of.
Man, it's funny you say that, bro. I was talking about this the other day too, bro. Like, in Japan, it's Japanese people. In South America, they're all Hispanic people, you know? In Jamaica, all Jamaicans. But in America, it's a mix of everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, America isn't, like, the Native Americans are Indians, you know? But everyone else in America that's presently here, they are, like, the culture of America is more like just an ideal, you know? Like, America is like a place where it doesn't matter where you're from, but like the American way of life, you know, like anyone can live it. It's like hip hop. Like hip hop, anyone can live this culture of hip hop, you know? Even though they're saying hip hop is a predominantly black culture, but like all creeds and colors live it,
Yeah, like
you know?
You can come here and be, and that will be America.
Right, you know? Like, I forgot, man, like, some obscure soundbite I heard some time ago. It's like, yo, listen, you claim to be hip-hop. All right, well, the way that you talk, you're mad one day and you cuss somebody out. Well, you're hip-hop, right? That becomes hip-hop, you know? So, you know, you flick somebody off because they cut you off and you live hip-hop. They might not know that you're hip-hop, but you are, and your actions are now contributing to what is hip-hop. So be mindful of, are you contributing something good or bad to what is perceived as hip-hop culture, you know?
Yeah, you are a representative at this, you know, you are representing the culture. So how you behave can and will be used against you.
Yeah, and, you know, I feel like America is just a big airport, you know? Like, people from all over the world come here.
It's American Airlines.
Yeah. American Airlines. Yeah, exactly, man. In a way, that's kind of like the point behind, like, this project that I put out, Transit City. Like, you know, people are just going to come and go, man. You know, you're just a stop along the way. Whereas, like, in some other countries, or even some small towns, people will live there their entire lives and be ignorant to what's going on outside of that place, you know? They're born, raised, and die there. And they have kids there, and they try to keep them there, too, because that's their anchor, you know? But word, man. Well, shit, bro. We've been talking for over an hour, and this was tight.
I like it.
Yeah, this is Medianoche podcast. This is Ramon Revere here with me.
Yeah.
Art Morera. And if you're in Miami, I would recommend you try the pan con bistec or the Cuban sandwich or the medianoche. Make sure you go and check out Mary's Coin Laundry. This is not sponsored by them, but they make the fire shit, you know?
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. We're out of here.
Let's go.
Hey, for all the listeners out there, yo, Rev, where can they find you at?
On the gram, Revere, 3 V's. Twitter, Ramon Revere. Just look up Ramon Revere. I'm pretty sure you'll find me.
Spotify, Apple Music, title, Revere with 3 V's, REVVVERE.
That's only for the gram. Ramon Revere is 1 V originally, but just on the gram is 3 V's.
And if you guys haven't heard it yet, like he just he just dropped this project. It's called Uncomfortable 2. All right, I produce all the beats on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, he did all the raps on it with no writers.
None. One. Me.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We out of here.
All right,
Peace.
take care, y'all.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.